What is going on, everybody? This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74 back on the field. Today I'm going to react to what made SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 so good by WrestlinGifs. In my personal opinion, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 is easily the greatest SvR game of all time. You know, the roster, the soundtrack, the gameplay, anything you could ask for, it's in there. It's definitely the season mode. The season mode is really fun. It's definitely an all-time great SvR game. It's definitely the game, one of the best games of my childhood. Like I played this game so many times, and like I said, that soundtrack is just chef's kiss. Like it really touched my heart, and I think I played it on my PS2 not too long ago. I still got my PS2, and I played SvR 07 to just play around a little bit. And when I tell you, when I put that game in, and when that main came up, it was Forgive Me. I'm just like, dude, take me back to 2006, man. Taking back to 2006, 2007, those years was just so good to me. It's definitely an all-time favorite game of mine. So we're gonna check out this video by WrestlinGifs. If this is your first time, this is JPTHEGLOVE74. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. Without further ado, let's get into this video.
If you grew up in the ruthless aggression era, there's a good chance this game has a special place in your heart, just as it does in mine.
Amen.
See, for me personally, this was an end of an era. Like, actually, an end of an era, not the WWE version of end of an era from 2028.
Oh, God.
Not the ruthless aggression era, because that had another year or so after this. But my WWE video game prime, so to say. The most fun I ever had playing wrestling games was from Shut Your Mouth until SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Amen.
So Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, SvR 06 and 07. It was a perfect time for me, and many of you as well.
Amen.
See,
Me too.
Kid, and I was a kid who was obsessed with the WWE in real life, and then after the shows were over, I was obsessed with the video games, which were also quality games. All my friends were still WWE fans, so we'd watch the shows together and then play the games together. This was the last game, though, where it was still like that. See, I still watched the WWE after 2007. I still played the games after 2007.
Me too.
But I was never obsessed with the WWE or the games to the level that I was from 2002 to 2007. My friends slowly stopped playing and watching. We were growing up. It was a transition time.
It was, definitely.
So even though I went on to play SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, and I still play WWE games to this day, this was kind of like that last hurrah for my childhood.
That's true.
This was kind of the end of me and my friends just staying up all night playing in WWE games, trying to unlock everything, just having the craziest, randomest matches, watching Raw and SmackDown every week, and just being obsessed with the product. This was basically the grand finale of our childhood obsession with the WWE. Like I said, I love the WWE to this day. I have a whole YouTube channel where all I do is talk about the WWE. But 2002 to 2007 was truly my prime, my peak fandom. And fittingly, you could say the same for the games. Their prime was slowly ending.
It was.
These games were no longer going to be
it was kind of slowing down by the time.
The games that we grew up playing, the ones we grew up loving. This was also an end of an era for the PlayStation 2 wrestling. The PlayStation 2 will forever be my favorite console of all time. No console will ever bring me as much joy as the PlayStation 2 did. And the run of wrestling games on the PlayStation 2 was just legendary. But the PS2 was getting older, and the 360 had come out, and the PS3 was coming out. And obviously the primary focus was going to be developing the games ideally for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. So this was it. This was kind of also the last hurrah for the PlayStation 2. But before everything changed, Ukes and THQ still brought us one of the most beloved wrestling games of all time.
Amen.
A game that to this day I still talk about with my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to 2006 and take a look at what made SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 so legendary.
Amen. Amen.
Before we talk about the game, let's talk about how THQ catfished.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
In 2006, they were announcing the game and they were talking about it, and they actually released a trailer for the game. But it wasn't a normal trailer. No. These guys made a special trailer with special graphics, CGI up the ass, optimized that shit, maxed it out, and released what looked like was going to be the greatest looking wrestling game of all time with some insane graphics from 2025 or something. And then we got the normal trailer gameplay, and it didn't look anything like this. Oh my god, THQ just loves catfishing us.
They love doing that
as well. First things first, the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is my favorite soundtrack of any video game ever.
Mine's too, man. Mine's too.
I have every single song in this soundtrack downloaded on my Spotify playlist. I will forever be thankful for this game. Because of this game, I discovered 3 Disgrace. I was always a hip-hop head growing up, and even though I listened to a few rock songs every now and then, animal I have become, and Riot were the reasons I went out of my way to download the entire 3 Disgrace album, which led to me finding even more awesome bands. This soundtrack had it all. It had Rise Against, Ghostface Killer, Godsmack. Yo, this is a WWE game with a G-Unit track.
Yes.
I was a huge G-Unit mark growing up.
G-Unit?
This was my reaction when I heard someone say G-Unit when playing this game. What beautiful diversity. And then
Money in the Bank.
Anyone forget the beautiful, beautiful song of I got
money
with
in
the
the
name,
but
put it with the name. Watch Me still got copyrighted. God damn it, Susan. All the SmackDown vs. Raw games had amazing, amazing soundtracks, but let's be real, this is it. This is the best soundtrack ever for any wrestling game, and honestly, it's hard to find any video game with a better soundtrack than this.
Definitely,
best soundtrack ever, 10 out of 10. This game could be absolute trash. It could have the worst game
I got bullet with a name, bullet with a name.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 basically had every match you wanted to play in the game. Hell in a Cell, TLC, Last Man Standing, every single thing. And they're all back here, except for Fulfill Your Fantasy, which honestly I didn't mind as a kid.
I never played it. I hardly ever played it. I just didn't care.
If they found me playing a match like that, oh my god.
Thank you, Charlie Daddy.
Yeah, any match you want to play, it's here. You won't have an issue. And the roster is really, really good, actually. Debuts of Bobby Lashley, the Boogeyman, Mr. Kennedy, Umaga, the return of Matt Hardy. The main event players are here. You got Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker. And then you got all the wrestlers like
the roster was stagnant. It was really stacked.
Rey Mysterio, RVD, who were all better than ever. And Edge finally got that 90 overall rating as well. And how could anyone forget the living legend, Vito? This was also the last WWE game to have Kurt Angle until 2K18. 11 years later. It was also the last game to have Chris Benoit.
Forever.
Oof. I absolutely love the legends in this game. As you probably noticed since Here Comes the Pain, the legends just get better and better every year. It's a really good roster, and it's really deep. 67 wrestlers. Yeah, 4 of them are Mick Foley, but who doesn't love Mrs. Foley's baby boy? The arenas are all there, and it's super cool to see Saturday night's main event, ECW One Night Stand. All the arenas are there, and this was back when the arenas actually looked different, so you actually played in different arenas. It wasn't just a bunch of LED lights. Now, this game was released on the Xbox 360, being the first SmackDown game to not be a PlayStation exclusive. See, I was a PlayStation fanboy, so of course I didn't buy a 360. And this game wasn't on the PS3, so all the gameplay you will see is from the PlayStation 2 version. But the gameplay is basically the same. The Xbox version just looks much better. It's more darker, the graphics, and they have swipe physics. But yeah, the game looks really good. The entrances are fire. The arenas are really well made. The pyro and the lighting is all good. And the models are really, really well done. As most WWE games up until this point, it reflects the time period perfectly. The biggest change to this game was definitely the gameplay. And the gameplay was changed quite a bit, including the controls. So now there was no more using circle to grapple. It was all with the right stick. Simple moves, just move the right stick to any direction. For advanced moves, hold the right bumper for higher impact and more powerful moves. With the right stick giving us more control, we get a ton of new features. They added something called Ultimate Control Moves, which now we're kind of used to. But back in the day when they added this, it was like, whoa. So now you can put your opponent in a position and have control on how you want to hurt them. Gorilla press position, you do what you want to do. Get your opponent in the choke slam position and walk around for half a mile if you really want to before, slamming them on the ground. Suplex position, hold them in the air, do a suplex, or bounce them off the ropes. And along with ultimate grapples, around the arena there are actually hotspots where you can do special moves to them and actually control the moves, such as on the ring rope. You can grind their face into the ropes, or you can do this and make sure they don't have any kids in the future. Or in the corner you can do some punches, or be like Ric Flair and go woo on a bitch.
Yep.
Even outside, you can choose how many times you want to hit them on the steel steps.
Bam, yeah,
So
yep. I love doing that.
Table. And the coolest feature they added, the most hyped feature, was fighting in the crowd. Okay, they kind of bamboozled us.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Alright, you're not really fighting in the crowd, you're actually fighting more so in between
the crowds,
but nonetheless, it was a cool feature. So many hotspots.
It was still a lot of fun though.
Interact with fan signs, spray them with a fire extinguisher, throw them into speakers. If anything, be like New Jack and kill yourself while jumping off the balcony.
Yeah.
You had so much control in the matches. It was unlike anything we've ever had in any other wrestling games prior to this. The gameplay overall was slowed down, but I don't think anyone had any issues with it. I certainly didn't. It's good gameplay at the end of the day. Each year since Here Comes the Pain, the game slowly got more realistic. And now in SvR 07, they made their biggest leap yet into making the game as realistic as possible. But like I said, it was still a good time. We had so much more control now, and they still had some elements of the arcade gameplay in there, so it was a nice balance. And that's why I think this game is so beloved. It has that right amount of realism and the right amount of fun, crazy, wacky stuff. It's not pure simulation, but it's not pure arcade. And the game is just polished really well. All the features work, the grappling, the carry moves. Yeah, once upon a time, wrestling games actually came polished. I said this in my SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 video, and I'll say it here because it applies here as well. You can go out there in this game and have a super realistic 5-star match that would have Dave Meltzer creaming his pants. Or you could go out there and have a totally crazy spot fest with absolutely insane stuff happening that would never ever happen in real life. You had the best of both worlds. Shout out Hannah Montana. I can't believe I mentioned Hannah Montana in a wrestling video. But yeah, you could just sit there doing exhibition matches for hours and not be bored. That's what me and my dumbass friends did. Stamina was added in 06 and was improved by a mile in here, but I still personally took it off. SmackDown vs. Raw 06 was an amazing game, and it's definitely hard to find things to improve on that game, but they did. They could have easily just dropped the same game with a roster update.
Right.
And I don't think many people would have complained because 06 was really fun, but they actually made changes and made this game awesome. It's kind of like SmackDown Shut Your Mouth to Here Comes the Pain. Shut Your Mouth was amazing, and then Here Comes the Pain made these upgrades and became legendary. I feel like the same thing happened here. SvR 06 was amazing, but 07 took all the good stuff from 06 and made it legendary.
That's right,
There's a new match type in this game, kind of. Money in the Bank. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a ladder match, but now it's 6 people and a briefcase instead of a title. However, it's a new match type. This match was insane. These matches would go on for hours. Like legit. If you played a Money in the Bank in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 and it went on for less than 40 minutes, go buy a lottery ticket.
These were the good old days, man. It was the good old days.
It was hard. But yo, when you won, you felt like the greatest SmackDown vs. Raw player ever. And I loved how they added the leading ladder feature so you could wow out like Shelton Benjamin. I absolutely loved doing that. That was the coolest thing ever. But yes, TLC and ladder matches were changed now. Now you just don't hang on the title of the briefcase for a few seconds and win. You actually got to do a mini game, which honestly wasn't a bad thing. It just made the matches longer, which is never a bad thing because, you know, you want to have good long matches, not just some quickies. Because, you know, my sex life is already quick enough.
Oof.
Season mode is back, and in 2006, I had tons of fun playing season mode, and the fun just continues here. It's the same old mix of super serious, really realistic storylines, and total batshit crazy. And once again, we get 2 storylines, one for Raw and one for SmackDown. But it's cool because there are certain stories which will involve you being drafted from one brand to the other. There are around like 30 to 40 storylines here. Yeah, you can actually play this more than once.
That's true.
Can't relate. 06 and 07 had fantastic season modes.
They did.
Yeah, sometimes it does get kind of batshit crazy.
Oh yeah, I
Take a look at what happens when Candice Michelle gets involved. Shout out to Pulse for the video.
Oh no, you don't. I'm not done with you yet.
SvR Boogeyman! Hämta mig som håller bägge.
It's insane how all these years later, the career modes for these
13,
12-year-old games still have me immersed. Oh, and by the way, the Chris Benoit Undertaker thing.
Okay, yeah.
If you insist on making this mistake, then your grieving family will have no one to blame but you when the inevitable occurs.
It's really diverse. You do a bunch of different things. You go from trying to break the streak to try becoming the champion to fucking around with Candice Michelle, who apparently does black magic. You try to win the Royal Rumble. You can face Kurt Angle at WrestleMania in an Ultimate Submission match. Rowdy Piper comes back. There's a lot of replay value in this mode, and you're always going to be involved in some storyline. And after this, it did kind of go downhill. 08 didn't really have a good season, and the road to WrestleManias were cool, but this was kind of the end of an era for this type of season
that's
mode.
true, it's true.
I mean, it was the last mode titled season mode, because after this, it was 24/7, and then road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I definitely had tons of fun playing this back in the day, and even now when I replayed it, it was a blast. GM mode is back and it's better than ever. Shout out Eric.
A lot of people said this game is the best GM mode ever.
You guys know how much of a mark I am for GM mode, and I love GM mode here. One, because the roster is much deeper, so it creates much more competitive rosters to do GM mode with. The popularity levels of the wrestlers are much better. And now you can also hire writers for storylines, and you can have heat and velocity to build up some wrestlers without using them on your main show. It adds much more depth. GM mode has improved vastly, and it is definitely my favorite version of the three. Sure, 08 had more options, but 07 just crafted really well. Till the day I die, I will always say that General Manager mode is the best WWE game mode in history. I don't care. Don't add me. I might have to do a series of me playing GM mode if y'all are down for that, and if you care to watch it, let me know. Create a Wrestler is basically the same, but that isn't a bad thing. You can still make some super realistic wrestlers. And over the next few years, though, the Create a Wrestler suite just gets even better and more amazing. But here, it was generally the same. Locker Room is back, and now it's bigger than ever. Look at how I customized mine. It's still weird to me that we don't have one these days. The customization makes the game feel like it's yours.
It does.
Like it's cool. Like, wow, look at my locker.
I remember those. Those are so cool.
Those are my awards. Those are my belts. Those are my trophies. It's cool, and I just wish they still had these in the newer WWE games.
Me too. I do too.
It never ceases to impress me how much content we used to get on PS2 wrestling games. Now we're out here playing WWE games that are like 60 gigabytes, and we barely have content to play. This game's online service for a 360 are still up apparently, and I really want to get a 360 just to play that. At the end of the day, it's hard to talk about this game without repeating what I said for 06. This game is legendary because, like I said, it took everything from 06, basically polished it and perfected it, and just made a damn good game. There's something to do in this game for everyone, just as it was in 06. I love 06 and 07 so much. These two games are two of the most complete wrestling games that you can play.
Amen.
And for me, it's hard to choose one over the other. They're just that damn good. Shout out Triple H. But like I said, this game is legendary. You could just sit there doing exhibition matches for hours and not be bored. The gameplay was a nice change from the old arcade gameplay we had for years, and it was time for a change, and we got the change, and it was a good change. It wasn't like 2K14 and 2K15. Oh my god, that was bad.
Yeah.
The game is very similar to 2006, so if you prefer the more arcade gameplay of 06, it's cool. But if you prefer the more realistic gameplay of this one, that's cool too. There are two amazing games, and I'll be honest, you can't go wrong with any of them. This game was an end of an era, and what a way to go out. This was the last SmackDown game that I was truly obsessed with. Yes, I had fun playing 2010 and 11 and 13 and 14 and all that, but this was the end of the peak, and it's not just nostalgia, it's a damn good game. This was the end of an era.
It's the best SvR game of all time, in my opinion.
That run from Shut Your Mouth to 2007 was just legendary. Shit, man, it was like the Patriots dynasty, just Super Bowl after Super Bowl, and that's how the series was, just banger game after banger game. But all good things must come to an end. And what a way this was to go out. It's hard to find someone who didn't love this game growing up. I know so many people just like 06 who, they never watched wrestling, they weren't really into it, but they still loved playing this game. This game has a special place in my heart, it always will. It was definitely a huge part of my childhood. It It was that last hurrah, and I'm thankful,
Amen.
I'm grateful that I grew up in an era where I got to play this game as a part of my childhood. Thank you, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, and shout out to all the WWE games from 2002 until 07.
Amen. Yes. So yeah, easily SvR 07, the greatest SvR game of all time. You know, like I said earlier in the video, the roster, the gameplay, the soundtrack, the season mode, everything you can ask for is in this game. Like it's definitely an all time favorite SvR game, a personal favorite game of mine too. I love going back and playing season mode, playing the game, do the gameplay, doing the Money Bank Live matches, doing all this crazy stuff. But like I said in that SvR 06 video I did, when he talked about GM mode, how GM mode is the greatest mode in wrestling history, and he's definitely right. Like it's definitely the greatest mode in wrestling history. When I was I really didn't get it. I really didn't get GM mode. I played a little bit here and there, but at the time I was a kid, I really just didn't get it. I really just didn't. Okay, it's okay. I'm like. Because I was a young kid, I really did not understand GM mode. But once I grew older, and when I played SvR 07, and the first thing I did was playing GM mode, I could definitely see why a lot of people love doing GM mode. It was just so much fun. You get to build wrestlers, you get to build storylines, you can create your own roster. It's that GM mode is definitely the greatest mode in wrestling history, definitely. But yeah, SvR 2007 is the best game of all time. I would say, like you said earlier, from Shut Your Mouth to Here Comes the Pain to SvR, the very first one, to 06 to 07. That's definitely the peak of wrestling games. And I agree with WrestlinGifs. It was after SvR 07, the games kind of took a dive, took a little dive down. I'm also gonna check out his video on SvR 08. 08 was fun for me, and I didn't think it was better than SvR 07. It was still a step down. But when I get that video, I'm gonna check out his thoughts on this game. But until then, this was a definitely a great feel. If you guys have not played SvR 07, if y'all still got a 360 in your home, or y'all still got a PS2 in your home, go out of your way and play that game. You will definitely enjoy that game. Definitely one of the best of all time. This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74. If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. What y'all think in the comments? Do y'all think SvR 07 is the greatest SvR game of all time? Just leave your comments down below. Until next time, hope you guys have a really great day, y'all. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll see y'all next video. God bless y'all and peace.